Good morning, it's Lindsey. I've got black coffee and it's cup number 2. I haven't had anything added into it because that requires more mental energy devoted to the pouring of the coffee. But being that I am on a higher fat, moderate protein, and low carb way of eating, it's a lot easier to add a whole bunch of fat to coffee than it is to consume a whole bunch of fat without tacking on protein. That's usually my struggle. Oh, I didn't put earrings in. I need to go do that. So yeah, I should probably be adding some MCT oil to this, or some butter, or both, or some flavored MCT oil powder for funsies, and butter. Ooh, I do want to do that. Okay. I will be refilling my coffee shortly, and I will make it into a fatty coffee. I don't know what I'm going to make for breakfast. I don't have a whole heap of time. We have swim, we have guitar lessons, we have schoolwork for the summertime. We are doing a short school semester during the summertime because of travel coming up throughout the year. And what else? I'm sure there are other things that we must go and do. It's looking very rainy outside, so a car wash is not going to be in our future today. And I have children to manage and a house to clean. Just all the things. So I guess come along with me today. All right, I know my audio is going to be really wonky. This house has much taller ceilings than our previous house, and all the floor is hard floor. So there's a lot more echo. It sounds kind of like I'm in a giant concert hall, and I don't know how to dampen all of that. I'm going to figure it out at some point. I'm also eventually going to figure out my lighting. I've got recessed and pendant lighting in this kitchen, and none of it really does me any favors. But I still keep dealing with it. Oh well, I'll figure it out someday. It's fine. We'll move on with our lives. As for breakfast, I have some simple options. I tend to be a simplistic person when it comes to the breakfast, and putting together a more complicated breakfast, it happens often enough to be a regular thing, but inspiration usually needs to strike. And I tend to want simple, easy, fast, no-brainer type foods, because there's a lot more going on in my life than just breakfast. So I have a bunch of homemade yogurt that I did in a recent food prep session. And then I don't have any more hard-boiled eggs, but I can just fry up eggs. I don't know if I have any opened bacon. If I have opened bacon, I should probably make bacon and eggs to use the bacon. If I don't have opened bacon, I'll probably just do a bit of yogurt and add more fat to it. But I don't know. Do I want that? Or do I... let's investigate if there's even bacon open in the fridge. Yeah. Okay. I do have bacon open. We're going to make bacon and eggs. Breakfast is cooked. This is some thin bacon that it's 3 strips, but they've been cut in half. And that makes for about 10 grams of protein. 2 eggs rather here fried, and that makes for about 12 grams. So about 22 grams here, give or take. I'm not exact on all of that. However, that's roughly where I am. I'm going to go eat this and finish up my coffee. Actually, wait. Finish the coffee, make a fatty coffee, and I will show that to you. We are running behind schedule right now, so I'm going to show this to you quickly. I have 12 ounces of coffee. I added half a scoop of the salted caramel MCT oil powder, and I'm going to put a lid on that, and we are hitting the road. For lunch, I prepared kind of a typical lunch. So a meat and cheese sandwich on a butter bun, and then some pork rinds and a few of these mini cucumber slices. And I have some of my homemade mayonnaise with sriracha to dip the pork rinds and the cucumbers in. This is Neely's Butter Buns 2.0. I did try the trick with the egg wash on top to prevent the sticky, tacky texture on top. It worked that first day, but after keeping it stored up in my bread box over there, it did get a little bit tacky. Definitely better than not using the egg wash, but it was still there. So I toasted that for about 3 minutes in my air fryer to eliminate that stickiness, so it's nice and sort of crispy on top. I added my homemade mayonnaise. There are 3 slices of some hard salami. There's 1 slice of the pepper jack cheese there. And then I have 3 slices of ham. That's the Hormel Naturals. I don't have the box for it anymore. Hormel Natural Choice ham. And yeah, that is going to be my lunch. I'm going to have a cherry buble. And I don't know what the protein content is for this, but I do think it's a little bit higher. Each salami slice has a little over 1 gram of protein, so that's a little bit more than 3 grams. The cheese has 5 grams, I believe, and the ham, I believe, for 3 slices, I think it was about 6, maybe a little bit more. I'll have to go look that up. So, right, and I don't know how much is in the bread. I'm going to guess that this is less than 25 grams of protein. That's where we're going to stick until I can sort it out otherwise. And if I don't find the time to do that, so be it. With lunch all managed and cleaned up, I am going to get to work on some school lessons with my big girls. Do I have food on my face? I have a cup of coffee back here because it is cold in the basement. And I like to have a hot beverage while we're down there. Just the AC, you know how it is sometimes. Balancing AC unit situation can be a little tricky. So our basement is usually colder and it's quite gray out there right now. So that makes it also feel chillier and the desire for a warm coffee is all the more. And I'm trying to figure out what I want to put into my coffee. I think I want butter for the velvetiness. And then I think I'm going to use some of my cinnamon toast MCT oil powder just because it's not my favorite, but I do need to use it up, and I have not tried this with butter as well as this. I've only ever done it with just this on its own. So I want to see if half a scoop of this plus butter doesn't improve my experience with the cinnamon toast. The salted caramel, on the other hand, I am almost out of and need to get a replacement order in ASAP. Oh, look at that. Just the right amount of butter left. All right, we're going to wash that. The powder here smells delightful. It just, for some reason, it's not the flavor profile that I love. So I've got about a half a scoop. All right, I'm gonna wash that up. Okay, this is still probably a little bit too hot, but I'm gonna try it anyway, just to see what happens. So the flavor is still not my personal favorite, but the butter definitely improves this experience dramatically for me. So I think the way that I will use cinnamon toast henceforth is alongside butter as extra fat. It's mid-afternoon, about 3:30 or so. I want a snack. I feel munchy. I feel hungry, but there's nothing that sounds good, which makes me believe I should not have anything to eat. Instead, I think I'm gonna go make some electrolytes since I have not done that yet today. And I'm gonna start dinner at some point. I plan to make pizza. I usually make pizza crust for the girls from scratch, just flour, yeast, water, a little bit of oil. It's easy peasy. And I don't know what kind of crust I plan to do for me and my husband yet. I don't know if I want to go through the trouble of making a cauliflower crust or if I want to do something different, if I want to make an egg white like protein crust. I'm already I think I'm sitting at about 50 grams or less on the protein scale. However, my plan is to try to stay as close to 65, under 70 grams of protein, if at all possible. So I don't know if I want to do that. It could just be a day that I wind up going over. This has been my struggle and my plight recently is it's so easy for me to consume protein and I don't have any struggles with that. Maybe if I would have had one less egg or just had bacon this morning or something around, just having the yogurt that I make that had a higher fat content. I don't know what the protein would have been like, maybe only about 15 grams or less. So it's just been a little bit of a back and forth battle in my brain, trying to make sure that I keep my protein at a lower volume than I used to. I used to sit there and try to get, 150 plus grams a day, and that wasn't really difficult. It's much more difficult for me to pull back on that protein goal. So, okay. Electrolytes. Yes. Refocused electrolytes, then figuring out what kind of pizza crust I'm going to make for my husband and myself. Maybe I will do the cauliflower crust because that is a lot lower in protein, and usually that one turns out fairly well. Okay, I have 4 ounces of hot water, and let's do mixed berry today. I personally like to mix my electrolytes in hot water so it dissolves readily. I know it will dissolve over time, but this just kind of expedites the process for me, and I like lukewarm water or room temperature water. And I need my iodine. Lugal's 20%. I have to be a lot more careful with the 20% drops than I did with the 2%. All right, let's go get some more water. At this house, we have a reverse osmosis system, so that's pretty cool. We used to have that back in Wisconsin, and we definitely loved having it. So I'm glad that we have that here at this house. All right, mixed berry electrolytes. The iodine has dispersed well enough to where it no longer looks like that weird color, and I'm gonna go drink this. And I don't know if you can tell, but back there I've got the computer going. We're editing all the things today. I did decide to go ahead and make a cauli crust for me and my husband. My girls, they've got pizza rolls and a small personal pizza down there, and once it's all served up, I will show you that. Here is my dinner plate. I have 3 slices of cauli crust pizza that just has a little bit of a tomato sauce and some mozzarella cheese, a few pepperoni, some green bell pepper, and a little bit of onion. My recipe makes 2 full crusts, and this is half of one of those, so about a quarter of the recipe there. And then I have about 2 cups of some spring mix that has about a teaspoon and a half, about half a tablespoon of this sugar-free raspberry vinaigrette from G. Hughes, that's funny. Okay, and then that mayonnaise is squeezed on top. That's my homemade mayonnaise. So that's my plate, and if I have more food, I will let you know. All right, pizza was delicious. I think we're going to probably have coffee at the end of the night. I'll be sure to show you that if I do have some. Here is my decaf coffee. I put a splash of heavy cream and a half scoop of the Cinnamon Toast MCT oil powder. It's growing on me. Still not my favorite, but I am going to use it, and that'll be my coffee for tonight. And I think that's where we're going to finish the day. So I appreciate you coming along with me on this What I Eat in a Day video, and I hope to see you in the next one.